We're going to find the start time using a T-chart, and our problems are going to give us the end time and the elapsed time, or how long an event lasted. In this first example, it says the clock below shows the time Braxton stopped working on his homework. If he worked on his homework for 30 minutes, what time did he begin? Off the bat, I need to write the time that's shown on this clock, and I can see that it's 4:15. I'm going to circle any other numbers that I see in this word problem. I know he worked on his homework for 30 minutes, so that's the elapsed time that they're giving us. And I know that the time on the clock was his end time because of that keyword stopped. And in my question, what time did he begin? That word begin is my important keyword that lets me know I'm looking for my start time. Start time is a little bit different in regards to our T-chart than elapsed time and finding our end time, because now we have to work backwards. We want to know when something began. So to help kind of remember that, we're looking for our start time, so we're going to subtract. Start, subtract. At the top of my T-chart this time, I'm going to write my end time. So I'm going to write that end time of 4:15, and I'm going to write an E to remind me that I'm working backwards. I need to subtract. At the top of my hours and minutes column, I'm going to write 30 minutes to remind me that that's how much I need to subtract. Again, I only want to subtract 10 minutes at the most. So I'm going to break that 30 minutes up into 10-minute increments, 3 tens. So I'm going to subtract against because I'm finding my start time, and I'm only focusing on that minute side. So 15 minus 10 would put me at 4:05, and I automatically notice that I am super close to 4 o'clock. And I can think, okay, well, 5 minus what is going to get me to 00? 5 minus what is going to get me to 0? I can subtract 5 minutes and get down to 4 o'clock. And I can go and I can subtract another 5 so that I can stick with that 10-minute pattern that I'm doing. So I'm going to subtract another 5 so that these two 5s together equal 10. And this is a little bit difficult for some kiddos to kind of conceptualize and picture in their minds, but this 00, they can also think about that as equaling 60 because there's 60 minutes in an hour. So if you take 60 and subtract 5, what would you get? Well, that would be 55 if you take 60 and subtract 5. And a lot of kids still want to write that 4 because in their minds they haven't changed that hour side, so they're just going to keep writing that 4, but they're working backwards. So at 4 o'clock, if you subtract 5 minutes, you're not going to go to 4:55. So my hour is going to change and get smaller, so it should be 3:55. So far I've only subtracted 20 minutes. I need to subtract another 10 minutes, and that would put me at 3:45. Down below I have a number line, and I want to plot my start time and my end time. And if I'm looking in between my hours, I see there's only 3 tick marks. So each of those tick marks represents 15-minute increments. This would be 3:15, 3:30, and 3:45. And that pattern would continue past 4 o'clock and on to 5. So 4:15 would be that first tick mark after 4. That was my end time. And I can count backwards using that number line to help me if this T-chart is too confusing. There's 15 minutes and 30 minutes, and I get that matching end time of 3:45. In this problem, I have Micah, who studied for 2 hours and 5 minutes. If he finished studying at 6:20, what time did he begin studying? I'm going to circle my numbers they gave me, 2 hours and 5 minutes, and 6:20. I'm going to underline my question, what time did he begin studying? I'm going to box my keywords to help me understand, well, what information did they give me? So I know how long he studied, 2 hours and 5 minutes. That's the elapsed time. And he finished or ended at 6:20. So that's my stop time. And then what time did he begin? That's my clue that I'm looking for, that start time. Again, when you're looking for the start time, you got to subtract. I need to put my end time at the top, 6:20. Again, I'm going to write a capital E to signal that I had to go backwards. And at the top of my hours and minutes column, I'm going to write 2 hours and 5 minutes to remind me that's how much I need to subtract. I want to start with my hours first. I need to subtract 2 hours. So looking at only that hour side, 6 minus 2 would be 4:20. And now I only have to subtract 5 minutes. So minus 5. 20 minus 5 would put me at 4:15. So I know that he began studying at 4:15 and he stopped at 6:20. I want to plot both of those times on this number line below. Looking at in between my hours, I see there are so many tick marks, and that's my signal that they must be counting by fives. And I can go through there and double check to make sure that this is 0. And once I get to 5 o'clock, it should be 60. So 4:15 be 5:10. 4:15 would be right here. And then 6:20, I can jump down here to 6 o'clock and start counting by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20.